Hello, and welcome to another episode of Walk the Dog Cinema. Sorry for my voice. Kind of been dealing with a little bit of a sinus infection, but things are getting on the up and up. Trying to get out before any more rain comes and gets us, so the Roca can get her walk in and enjoy some fresh air, clean. It's always nice after a rain. So as you can see, all the doggies are out. And just trying to get this in and Roca exploring. Today, gonna talk about the new Running Man and how that compares to the Schwarzenegger one. And I think it needs a comparison, even though this one follows the book much more authentic to it. But I have my thoughts on that too. But and the reason I say it needs to be compared, even though it kind of separates itself as a remake that at least kind of justifies its existence, it still tries to tie in maybe too much to Schwarzenegger's film to kind of give you a nostalgia bomb kind of effect. So we're going to talk about The Running Man. Yeah, so The Running Man, Edgar Wright is the director of. I kind of enjoyed it. I would say that it isn't a complete waste of time. I think it justifies its existence, like I said. So, I mean, because it does stay more true to the Richard Bachman book. And if you don't know what Richard Bachman is, a la Stephen King. But it's one of his kind of non-horror back in the day, where he wrote some other books, which I'll discuss in a minute. But I think it justifies its existence. It's got some nice action set pieces. It is in that vein, but it also tries to tell a human story that's somewhat interesting. You know, it's a dystopian future. A corporation basically runs America, where it seems like maybe the president's a puppet head, maybe Congress is a puppet head. Kind of doesn't really explain all of that stuff, which I'm fine. You know, you could build on it in a world if you really wanted to touch upon some more aspects of it. But I like the lead. He was pretty good in Twisters, like Glenn Powell, I think. But, you know, he does an admirable job in this. My favorite part is kind of in the middle. There's a neat action set piece. Dang, the sinus infection. I kind of forgot the actor's name, but he's known. Always want to say it's McLovin, but I don't think that's the actor. It's the other one. It's the other one that's in that movie. What's his name? Who did? Oh my gosh, I can't believe it. Having a brain fart. And of course, I'm filming this live and everything, but he did Scott Pilgrim versus the World. So there's that. But anyhow, I actually like his part with his grandma the best, and just the whole kind of kookiness that entrailed. It's kind of an interesting kind of dark humor involved there. It's a little bit different in tone than the rest of the movie, but somehow I kind of liked it in terms of the nature of that sequence. But like I said, that middle part is probably the best, and to me, it's kind of the final action set piece. The movie kind of loses steam in that third act. I wouldn't say it necessarily takes an easy way out. I just think some things become a little too convenient from where it was building from. And I'm not a big fan of the ending. And, you know, I think the acting's really good. I think the world building's really good. It's directed with good care in that regard. I'm going to admit, you know, I think on one level, the movie's kind of doomed from the get-go in one sense when you stay to the source novel. For me, yeah, I've read the story. I've read all of those old Stephen Aka Richard Bachman, you know, however you want to put it. From that omnibus, you had Rage, Long Walk, which also was a movie, which is kind of interesting, which I haven't seen. I don't know how true it is. And to me, that was the best story in that bunch from a story standpoint. A lot of tension in the Long Walk from a storytelling point. Then there was this one, Roadblock, which was not a good story. And then Running Man had some great ideas. Terrible ending. Kind of tried to do the John Carpenter They Live or The Thing kind of anti-government stance thing, which I get, but in and of itself, the source material is kind of weak to me. I was never a big... the Ben Richards in the book isn't all that dynamic to me. And you get what he's going for, the everyday man kind of thing, or it just... The source material just kind of doesn't resonate all that strong. And like I said, the two better stories in that, Rage and Long Walk. Rage started off the omnibus, and too bad I think it's no longer in print. But if you ever get a hold of that story, read it. Granted, it's about a kid who is very disenfranchised and takes hostages at a school. I understand Stephen King wanting to kind of distance himself because of Columbine and a bunch of other stuff that's gone on with school shootings. I personally think that the story, because of what it's about and how it references, serves a better purpose being out there. It doesn't exploit the situation, actually deals with it and deals with the psyche of the person who does it all. And it's an actually fascinating read. That's my 2 cents on that. And The Long Walk is the better dystopian kind of story where, you could look at it, that Battle Royale and, Hunger Games and stuff kind of come out of, because that's the process of what The Long Walk is. So that's the background on that. So I think the movie's going to suffer because the source material isn't the strongest. And this is where the Schwarzenegger thing comes into play. I'm going to say that the Schwarzenegger movie, The Running Man, is much better than the book. That's my personal opinion on that. I enjoy the hell out of that movie. Granted, it's very Schwarzenegger. But even in reference to Killian, who Richard Dawson played from The Family Feud in the Schwarzenegger version, is much better than the Brolin version in this one. Though I think Brolin does a great job being kind of smarmy and very kind of bureaucratic and manipulative in that sense. There's just something about Richard Dawson's kind of oozing menace and just sickly over-the-top play on everything that just really makes you love the ending even more when he's gotten, so to speak. So, again, in that regard, I think the Schwarzenegger vehicle is much better than the source material, and what they did with it was a lot of fun. And this one kind of references that with the hunters and other little things. They kind of reference the Schwarzenegger, so they try to take some of the best stuff from the Schwarzenegger one, try to take some of the best stuff from the book and kind of mash it up. And for the most part, it works. And like I said, some of the action set pieces are exciting. The one with when he gets almost to the end and he thinks he's at the safe house, and then just all hell breaks loose because the guy who he's getting the fake ID badges off kind of goes nuts and hits the alarm to kind of get in on the action to kill government agents and hunters. It's quite bonkers and actually darkly funny. So kind of like Edgar Wright at his best at that moment, where I think he's a little understated for the rest of the stuff. So that's The Running Man. Check it out. It's an okay one. It's playing on Paramount, I think, along with the original Running Man. Might be a good double feature to check out. But that's it. Have a good one, everybody. Please leave a comment what you thought of The Running Man. And also, if you like what you see, subscribe. Have a good one.